Good morning, how are we doing? So in today's show, we're going to talk a little bit about surrounding yourself with people that raise your game. And I got a great story of how this first happened to me. All right, let's get into it. Welcome to the Rise to Thrive show. I am your host, James Borman. And if you are coming through, then please do let me know by hitting the love heart button. Also, in the comments, what I want you to do is let me know if you are surrounded by people that inspire you, or it's an area that you need to upgrade in. Start finding those people that lift you. Man, it's Friday already. It's been a long, stressful week. But we're still in the fight, right? Always in the fight. Never changes. All right, so listen, I want to tell you the story. When I joined the military, when I joined the Royal Marines, I remember the first 2 weeks you go into this what's called foundation block. It's this huge room, and in this room there is maybe something like 60, 70 beds. So it's one massive room, and there's lots and lots and lots of different characters and people there. And I remember when I first arrived thinking, God, I feel overwhelmed with how many people there are around me, right? And I remember one guy who just come up and said, right, should we go to Scram? And Scram being dinner. So that's the first time I met Ads. So Ads was my oppo through training. And we naturally just got on. We shared the same values, we had the same sense of humour. We were just both two pretty switched on young 20-year-olds, right? And thrown into Royal Marine training. And we sustained that friendship all the way through training. There were ups and downs, but overall, like, we were each other's wingman all the way through. And we ended up going to the same unit together after training. So down at 4-2 Commando at Plymouth, we shared our first year in service together, which was really fun and really great. And Ads went off to go and do his thing. He was an ex-pro footballer, so it opened up a lot of doors for him. I went down to do my sniper thing, and that opened a lot of doors for me. And then we spent a period of our career apart. And then we came together again for our physical training instructors course, our PTI's course, which was an 8-month course, right? And we went through that course together all the way through and supported each other all the way through. And we ended up on the staff. Okay, so the staff being taking recruits through training together, and then I left. So I think all the way through, Ads was a really great oppo all the way through. He was the standout friend, I think, all the way, I know, in the military. Thing with Ads, though, Ads always had one over me. Always. In training, I was really, really fit. Really, really fit. Really, really fast. But he was faster, and he was stronger. He would always beat me on the camp circuits. He would always beat me on the bottom field. He beat me on all of the commando tests. And I was always very envious and slightly jealous about how I could never keep up with him. He was just naturally much physically stronger than I was. Not much, but was. When we joined our units, Ads was always sort of ahead of me in the pipeline in terms of command, like in terms of like rank, if you like, being 2IC. I come second to Ads in my PTI course all the way through, and Ads picked me to top dog on a course. And the whole way through, I used to think, God, like, I'm really envious of Ads. I'm really envious of, like, his strength, his leadership, his attention to detail, so to speak. And I think it's only since, well, not maybe in the last couple of years when I've been reflecting, I've always thought, man, Ads was the guy that helped me raise my standards without realizing it. Ads was always that one step ahead, and I was always trying to keep up. But by trying to keep up with Ads, it raised my standard so high, so much so that I was one of the fittest in the troop in training. Like, everyone was usually behind me on the runs or on the circuits or on the bottom field. He raised my standards so much so that my standard of soldiering when I went to Plymouth was really, really high enough to go and do the sniper course. Ads pushed me so much so in the PTI course that I come second in a course where I wasn't even a corporal at the time. So without realising it, being around Ads, and as good as a mate as he was always the guy that was striving to the standard that I was striving to reach. Now, I think in the modern world, sometimes we have two different relationships with that type of person, right? Number one is that we think we judge them, like we can be bitter about it. We can be like, oh, look at you and your success, look out you, and you're always ahead, and you can get really narky with it. Or it can set a fire, and it can set the fire for you to achieve the level that those people are. And I think that the second one is the one that we should all be striving for. When I look at our elite brotherhood and I look at our coaching program that we do for men, I don't look at necessarily what people's capabilities are. What I see is a community of men showing up. I see a community of men that are inspired by other people. I see a group of men that want to live a better life. And I like to think that the community that we've built is one that people can look around them and go, I'm surrounded by like-minded people. I'm surrounded by people that are pushing me. I'm surrounded by other people's efforts and determination. I'm inspired by them. And I think if you're not around that environment, it's really going to hinder progress in terms of your state of mind, in terms of what you believe you can achieve, in terms of where you're going in your life. Because if we hang around with people that don't inspire us, we just don't necessarily push ourselves, right? When I look at people in business, I look at people that are ahead of me in business, and I don't think, oh, hate on you. I think that's the standard I want to get to. I want to be in the room, and I want to be at the bottom of the room, ready to learn from people. When I see people that are quicker than me, faster than me, stronger than me, can lift heavier than me, I feel inspired by that. That sets a fire in me, and it should do you. And they're the type of people that we need to be facing, right? So what I want you to do in the comments for me is that, and I want you to do this as an exercise. I want you to think about one individual or one thing, and I want you to think about how they inspire you. Okay, so somebody like a friend, like a family member, like somebody that you used to know. And I want you to share that, and I want you to be open with that and say, actually, this guy inspired me, or this woman inspired me because boom. And I want you to use that inspiration then to lead others. Because then the way that I look at what I learned through that military career and ads being in my life at that time was that you can't be the best at everything, and you don't have to be the best at everything. But what we have to do is set a particular standard, and if we can get or be around people that are at that particular standard, in and around that standard, man, that's going to change the way that I live my life. That's going to change the way that I lead myself. That's going to change the way that I show up for my kids. That's the way it's going to change the way that I show up to my marriage, to lead my clients, to build my business, to keep my fitness going. Do you know what I mean? So this is what it's all about. It's about being around the right people. It's not feeling jealous or bitter or comparing yourself. Drop that ego, drop that BS. You don't need that. But it's about understanding that actually to get to the level that you want to be at, we've got to be looking at the people above the ladder, people that are further along in their chapter and their process than us. And when we do that, man, we aim to reach that standard. Okay, we naturally raise our game to those standards. Make sense? If that makes sense, hit the love heart button for me. Just so, like, obviously, it's very different to interact talking to a phone on the beach in the middle of the night. In the middle of darkness, should I say, not night. But I want you to think about that going into the weekend. Like, who is around me that inspires me? And by the way, if there is no one, then start joining groups. Start getting to know different people. Come and join one of our programs. Come and be part of the Brotherhood. Like, you know why it's so difficult for people alone to get to the standard that they want to? It's because they are alone. because no one around them is inspiring them. This is why we have so many issues when people are, this is why a lot of people drop off the ball. It's because when they're around them, there's no one holding them accountable. There's no one to look up to. There's no one to inspire them. So it's easy to take the easy road. We just end up slipping into that, don't we? Anyway, guys, have a great weekend. If you're not part of our Brotherhood already, if you're not part of our process already, you're not in our coaching group, our 50% offer to join us for a Elite 90 ends Sunday night. Okay, it doesn't mean that the program's closed. It just means that that offer has gone. All right, and then we'll have a new offer for you on Monday. All right, amigos, have a great day. Let me know in the comments about those people and those situations. Share your experiences. This is what this community is all about. It's great for people to go through the comments and read about what other people have done for other people, and how you've been inspired by other people in your life as well. I think it really helps you understand what people bring to the table. Have a good day.